New voter registration analysis that appeared in the New York Times this week signals there's only one way to say it. Pretty bad news for the Democratic Party. It found Democrats lost ground to Republicans between the 2020 and 2024 elections in all 30 states that track voter registration by party. Here with me now, Democratic strategist Kristian Ramos, who previously served as an aide to Majority Leader Harry Reid, and Lance Trover, who served as press secretary for North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum when he ran for president. He's now Interior Secretary. Gentlemen, great to have you at the family table. Let me go through some of the numbers that were in the New York Times piece. So from 2020 to 2024, Kristian, Democrats lost 2.1 million registered voters. And Republicans gained 2.4. Even I'm good enough at math to know that is a delta of 4.5 million voters. And the trend lines do not appear to be reversing. If anything, this calendar year, the New York Times said those trends are continuing.
Look, it's
you categorize that as yikes.
I would categorize that as a come to Jesus moment for the Democratic Party. We've got to start doing things differently. We've got to start earning voters' trust again, that we care about the issues that matter most to them. And I think that this administration, the Trump administration, is doing a great job of doing everything they can to get Democrats back into this fight by doing some truly awful things to working class voters. That is an opportunity for Democrats, again, to go back and be the people that are fighting for change for everyday Americans. That is something that is critical and was core to what made Democrats' party very, very popular with Barack Obama when he ran. We've got to get back. We've got to take that mantle back.
I don't want to continue to harsh your mellow, as my kids like to say, but also reported this week, the Republican National Committee, as of July, has a $70 million cash on hand advantage over the Democratic National Committee. The numbers round out this way: 84 million cash on hand RNC, 14 million cash on hand DNC.
Look, it's open business right now with the Republican parties. Whoever wants to come in, if you're a corporation, if you're whoever, anybody, all are welcome to the White House. When you have Donald Trump literally doing fundraisers, come meet the president if you give me X amount of money, yeah, that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's not great right now for our democracy. It's certainly not great for the political process.
Lance, you just want to do a touchdown dance or whatever?
No, when your opponent's like, when this is what's happening, you just sit back in silence. I'd love to lead into this segment, though, Major. This is a great part of the show. No, look, here's the problem with what he's talking about here, is when you have a party, I think the Democratic Party has two glaring problems. They have an authenticity problem, but they have a policy problem. When you espouse policies that 80% of this country disagree with, biological boys playing in girls' sports, open border policies, defending criminal illegal immigrants who are being arrested. I mean, these guys are getting arrested, and Democrats are out there chanting and screaming as if ICE is doing something wrong. When your only solution to what for the problems of this country is to say, no, Donald Trump is bad, and you're not providing solutions of your own, who wants to be a part of that party? I wouldn't want to be a part of a party like that has zero solutions. And so there's no surprise to me that those are the numbers that are coming out from registration.
Very quickly, I mentioned this before we went to break. The president continues to describe D.C. as a kind of hellscape. The Metropolitan Police Department released its 2025 year-to-date crime comparison. Violent crime in the city dropped by 27%, it says, including a 12% decrease in homicides. Property crimes, it says, dropped 5%. City saw, the Metropolitan Police asserts, an 8% dip in crime over the last year. We teased that. I just want to get those numbers on the table.
So Republicans right now, and I say this respectfully and politely, are high on their own supply. And what I mean by that is they are out there doing things that under normal circumstances they would never, ever do. What they did with the big, ugly bill, with the health care, with the Medicare, with taking away all the subsidies that were keeping people's energy costs down, they would never do that if they weren't so overconfident they are right now. They're making mistakes. And yes, none of those statistics that you read earlier were particularly good for Democrats. Republicans are on their way to their own reckoning after all of the horrible things that they've done under this administration.
Lance, a reckoning to come?
I mean, Democrats are at a 33% approval rate. It's the lowest they've been in decades. I think that speaks for itself.
Very quickly, Third Way came out with a memo today talking about things that Democrats should no longer say. I can't list all of the things they said, but let me run through a few. Latinx, BIPOC, incarcerated people, food insecurity, existential threat. Kristian?
I don't think we should be policing language either way. I do think that Republicans...
The memo says normies don't get those words. Lance, are you a normie?
Look, I think that memo speaks for itself. That tells you the problems the Democrats have. They can't even sell their own policies because they use all this unhoused rather than saying homeless and all this jargon. Yeah, that normal people don't understand. That goes to the authenticity issue that I talked about earlier. They have no authenticity.
Lance Trover, Kristian Ramos. Kristian, I know this was a hard one.
Well, I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
I'm going to sing happy birthday to you right now.
We're going to wish you a happy birthday.